I think that's a bit like conspiracy theorist.
Well, that's why we're here.
The rest is
that's
based
why
on
we're
facts.
here.
Hello and welcome back to Motorsport Podcast. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Mike.
And we're here to talk about the breaking news of Christian Horner.
Bombshell.
The first domino has fallen.
It happened a lot sooner than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, and truthfully, I didn't think he was going to be the first to go.
No.
I thought it was going to be Max, which would then trigger Christian's exit. And it was just so surprising because today's Wednesday?
Yeah. 20 years in the role.
Well, over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's insane.
8 drivers' championships, 6 constructor championships.
Yeah. Do you think this is all so
massive?
What happened?
Well, that's the debate, right?
So many questions.
And there seems to be 2 schools of thought. One being it's because Max has agreed to leave and is going to go,
I think
Mercedes.
That's everyone's initial thought.
That's where that was my elbow jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Is
elbow jerk.
Yeah,
isn't it knee jerk?
It's knee jerk. You're right. Yeah. I did a little chicken wing arm there, and it didn't feel right. I think that's the knee jerk reaction.
Mm-hmm.
They went to Red Bull and said, "Hey, Max is leaving next year. We'll announce it whenever."
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the final push. I guess but then there's the other school of thought that this was basically
an ultimatum.
Yeah. And it was Max saying it's him or me.
So I feel like I'm less inclined to lean that way just because I think there were so many rumors about Max going to Mercedes.
Yes.
That really intensified over the last 2 weeks. I feel like it's been and I found the way Max responded to Kimi hitting him very peculiar.
Yeah, I agree.
Which in my mind made me feel even more like, oh, he's going to Mercedes.
Well, and them giving each other toes.
Yeah.
In 2 separate races.
Yeah.
In 2 separate qualifyings. Max gave him a toe and he gave Max a toe. Which I don't know why you would do that.
Right. Yeah.
To a competitor.
Yeah. Well, and it's bizarre. And I feel losing Max is a huge problem for Christian, obviously, if that's what shakes out.
Yeah.
But also Adrian Newey, you can't forget that and turn a blind eye to. He lost the greatest design talent.
Yes.
In F1 history.
That's the thing is they've had such a strong core team at the top there with engineers, with Jonathan Wheatley as well.
Because when did he go?
I want to say it was either end of last year or beginning of this year.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was earlier than Newey, I believe. And then it was Newey, and now, obviously. So this is a massive shakeup. And I'm wondering if Horner just doesn't have the relationship or, I guess, maybe the pull with Mark Matterschitz as he did with Dieter Matterschitz. And maybe now the other side of the ownership is pushing him out. Or maybe Mark is pushing him out.
Yeah.
Being like, I don't have the nostalgia with you. I don't have the...
Yeah.
I
want to win again.
That emotional connection to you.
Yeah.
I want to win again.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because, really everything started to fall apart a while ago, right? It was the bringing Daniel back, Ricardo into, because obviously Christian had his hands into the V-Carb situation. It's not like he was
right.
hands off. And then that didn't go well. And then it was the Checo stuff. I just feel like there has been so many things that have happened.
Well, and then the multiple
Driver.
internal allegations that he's been
Yeah.
dealing with, right? Like
Yeah.
the lady who accused him of inappropriate behavior. Then there was a later, accusation of inappropriate behavior. Like, it's been multiple things. Like, it's...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are obviously like unsubstantiated, though.
Yes.
So
And they've done their own internal investigations.
yeah, and I think like without seeing evidence, you kind of have to rely on the internal investigations, right? Because
Fair.
like everybody is entitled to a defense.
Yep.
And some things are meritless, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't think it's fair to say like he did that, because obviously there was enough evidence to the contrary, or there wasn't enough evidence to say anything.
Right.
So, but I think like, so that aside, just focusing on like performance and just chaos. I feel like it's been chaos with those two teams for the last 3 years. Like if you took out Max's performance and solely focused on everything else, it's been chaos.
Yeah, it hasn't been strong.
Like without Max winning the title, it hasn't been good. Like last year they didn't win the constructors, even though Max won the drivers' championship. I think the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, I would love to know what the final straw was. Like, why right now? And I'm sure we will find out in the coming weeks. Hopefully it's not months.
Yeah.
What it was, right? Like, what happened for it to be today on a random Wednesday morning after the British Grand Prix?
Well, I think they wanted to make the moves and like let the dust settle before the next race, right?
Yeah, I guess
because there's like a little bit of
between.
a little bit of a break. I think it's going to be Max. I just think I don't think it's
Max leaving.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I feel like it has to be.
I'm in the same camp that it's
because Max leaving, that leaves him at like the absolute bottom.
It would put them in last place in the constructor.
Yeah, like it's
if you relied on like if you doubled their second driver scores, he's their last place.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I just don't think, I think he's been able to dodge everything else so well. And I just don't think, I don't think it was an us versus them thing. I could be totally wrong, but I just don't think that's it.
Now, where does this, so this was the first domino, as you said.
Yeah.
Let's go down the remaining dominoes. Your prediction.
Max.
And I know we covered this a little bit, but let's go into Max Mercedes taking George's seat.
Yeah. I said George to Cadillac.
Yep.
I said Valtteri to Cadillac.
Right.
So Toto's losing 2 drivers. He's getting rid of one of them, but 2 drivers to Cadillac. Because I think like Valtteri would have appeal in the US, right? Like he's got like a funny, unique personality. Yeah. Like he's a little bit
very likable.
Yeah. George, it's just a talent thing. And then I said Oscar to Red Bull.
Right.
But that was, I really thought Christian Horner getting fired would be like further down the road.
Yeah, you thought Christian would push for the Oscar to Red Bull. And who knows if Laurent Mekies would have the same.
Yeah, like he's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
Like I don't know him enough to know what he would go for. I still think Oscar, I think there's like because of the ties with Mark Webber, and like they need a strong driver. Like they can't afford to have somebody who's a development driver. Like they need to have somebody who can just walk in. And while I think Isaac Hajar has proven that he's a good driver and all of that, I don't think he's enough. Like I don't think you're going to take Isaac and Yuki and...
Yeah, I don't think that's a strong enough pairing.
And then that leaves our buddy Zach needing a driver. And I said Gabriele Bortoleto.
Right.
Mostly because he's managed by Fernando. And Fernando used to drive for McLaren.
And you said Gabriele Bortoleto came through the McLaren.
He was a development driver for McLaren. Right.
Yeah, I mean... and then who goes to Audi for next year?
Oh, yeah. So it's Nico and then Mick.
Oh, I could see that.
The end.
I feel like we need we should put on social and on the site as like a line,
like a March Madness
a time
thing?
graph of where when you think things are going to hit. Or a March Madness bracket's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, a lot of things are hedging on Max moving to Mercedes. So
Yes.
like until that happens, you're not going to see other big moves. I don't think, because I think a lot of things have to kind of like free up. I do think it's going to be earlier than, like, like last year with Carlos, it just got dragged out forever.
Forever, yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Max is just going to, probably for his own sanity, to like shut everybody up. He's just going to be like, I'm moving to Mercedes. And like do a bit of a mic drop, because he's not going to want to like answer the questions about Christian.
He doesn't want to answer
He
questions
hates that.
every single time.
So I could see him just announcing it just to like get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And then that just frees up everybody to have like, I'd say, more transparent conversations. You know?
Yeah.
And I think Zach is going to be blindsided.
If Oscar were to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the real test would be is how much would they have to pay McLaren to get out of the contract?
Yeah, that I don't know, because he did an extension.
Yes. So it would probably be a significant number, but as you said, Red Bull has deep pockets, right?
Yeah. Well, and they need a good driver.
Exactly.
And like, I feel like if you got a good enough lawyer, there's got to be something in there that could trigger something.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
So, because otherwise, like Red Bull, I don't know what they would do, because I don't think there's like a logical choice on the grid
To replace Max.
Sorry, like in my mind, Max is gone.
Right. Yeah, in your head, he's
already moved.
left.
He's already moved.
It's
yeah.
already committed.
It's happened. It's been announced.
Yeah.
Breaking news right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't think of another current driver on the grid that would be more appealing than Oscar.
I don't think so either.
And if you're Oscar, like, you're going to either stay at McLaren
And have a team where you are both number one drivers.
which has to be so frustrating.
Infuriating. Anytime we've seen that happen,
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work out.
No.
It ends up into infighting.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the Lewis Nico Rosberg situation, friendships
Yeah.
dissolving for
Yeah.
years.
And like, if they're going to go with Lando, then okay, that's fine. But like, if you're Oscar and you're this good right now, you don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
And his options would be Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, because you're not going to go to like one of the other teams. He's not going to go to Alpine.
No. Yeah,
Pass.
he's not going to downgrade.
No. And I just don't see. Could you imagine though if Max didn't move and Toto got Oscar?
That'd be something.
What a plot twist.
But I don't think that. I feel like that wouldn't be the move for Oscar though,
No.
because if, let's say, George were to leave, and Oscar were to go to Mercedes, he has put so much behind Kimi that I don't think he would want to give that up. I think he'd be in a very similar situation of
Like two young
like
drivers.
McLaren. Yeah, or
Yeah.
like he's at McLaren, where it's
Yeah.
two number ones. But then again, Toto has always said they've never had a number one driver when it was Lewis and Valtteri, and there was obvious that Lewis was the number one driver.
Yeah, obviously.
So maybe he would just develop Kimi for another couple years.
Yeah.
Until they're more equal. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a bit like conspiracy theorist.
Well, that's why we're
'Cause
here.
the rest is based
why
on
we're
facts.
here.
Yeah, I just think, like, I have never seen Oscar. I mean, obviously he's not going to take the entire FIA ruling out on the team,
No.
but these things start to kind of build up, right? Like, so it has to be frustrating for him because he's been dominant this season. Not to say like Lando's been bad, but I just think that
Yeah.
he's got to be feeling it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I have seen several content creators or podcasters or whomever defending the penalty to Oscar.
It's so stupid.
With telemetries and how much he braked and the brake pressure and the speeds he went from and down to.
Yeah.
And how it's a completely justified penalty. And it's not just because he's not British. Coincidentally, every
British.
single one of them was British.
It's funny because I can't remember who it was, but someone was saying, like, okay, so George didn't get the penalty. What race was that? I can't remember what race it was, where he did the exact same thing. And
Yeah,
it was,
I don't know.
I feel like it was Max too.
It was Max.
It
was like the Canadian Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah. So, but his was half the PSI. So
yes.
Oscar's was like 60, George was 30 or whatever. And so I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the F2 drivers was saying, okay, then what is it? What is the acceptable amount?
Right.
Which is fair. That's absolutely a fair question.
Yeah. What have you deemed reckless about Oscar's that wasn't reckless about George's?
Yeah. George is British.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So one of the other things we didn't discuss was someone's going to think you just did like a hard cut there. And no, it's just me. It's just my ADHD brain kicking into new gear. Also, too, like if anyone listened to the last episode, I was actually talking at that speed in that first clip.
It was not sped up.
I was shocked by it. Do we think there's any truth to the Fred Vasseur rumors and the Christian Horner moving into there? I absolutely think it's like trash. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. Fred has done, I think, a very good job of stabilizing Ferrari a little bit over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Before that, it's been chaos, right? In the time of Christian Horner, there has been 6 different Ferrari principals.
Yeah. Well, and like you secured, Lewis Hamilton.
Exactly.
You've got like a solid lineup. Like, the car isn't great, but I don't think he's going anywhere. And also, too, like, I don't see Christian uprooting his entire life and moving to Italy.
Yeah, that farm he's got looks pretty nice.
It's lovely. He's married to a Spice Girl. He doesn't need the money.
No.
He's just, if I was Christian Horner, I would honestly just enjoy life.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would do. Maybe he dabbles and buys another team, not like an F1 team.
Yeah, maybe he goes and...
Like, maybe he pulls like a David Beckham. Like, just has some beautiful properties. Like, you don't want to be the guy who's like clinging on. So just enjoy the retirement, Christian. You've earned it.
Those are wise words.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll reach out.
Yeah. You can be his life coach from now on.
Right? No, but I feel like it's interesting in the world of F1 because it's just like they don't go away.
Yeah.
It's like they get addicted to that lifestyle, and it's like, just go and do you.
Well, yeah, it probably is very difficult to leave, though, right? Having been the principal for Red Bull for 20 years and being involved in racing for much longer, right? Like, it's...
Yeah.
His life is flying around and going motorsport, right? Imagine just the following day, a snap of the finger and done.
Yeah, apparently he like addressed everybody at the factory. He was like very tearful, and like it's sad. Like, I will be the first to admit I don't like Christian Horner. I've never liked him. Not a fan. But like, it's sad to see somebody who's had so much success go out like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll say about that.
In the end, someone made the decision that he was gone.
Yeah, so because I don't see them turning things around. Like, I don't think Lauren's going to like...
No, there's not going to be some magic bullet that all of a sudden is going to get them to win the constructor. Like, that's... all of a sudden Yuki's going to perform exceptionally and Max is going to win again. There's nothing to make us think that, so...
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that.
We will have to see to find out. No one knows until the next breaking headline, which we will all be anticipating.
It's probably already happened. It's probably it was a wild ride this morning. I think Max is going to be the next announcement.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting with excitement and anticipation to see what ball drops next.
It's going to be so frustrating if it's like we don't find out for like months.
Which was so aggravating when we found out that Lewis was going to Ferrari last
I
year.
know.
And then
It took Carlos like all season.
Till November to find out where Carlos was going and if there was any other change. Like, it was infuriating.
Yeah. No, I don't see Max doing that. I think Max is going to want to get it out of the way.
Yeah, he's not going to want to address the media for months.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't say something quickly, either he says, I'm going to Mercedes, or my team is Red Bull. Like, it'll be one or the other. He's not going to continue this, like, song and dance.
Yeah.
So, exciting times ahead.
Stay tuned for more.
Motorsport Podcast is a Vorbeck Media production. Follow us on Instagram at Motorsport Pod. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our YouTube page, Motorsport Pod. Bye.